All right, we got Ashley McBryde. How's it going?
It's great.
Wow, good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
We haven't seen you since the CMA Awards.
CMA Awards.
Where'd you end up putting your CMA award?
In the bathroom. Wait, no, CMA. No. It has not. It is not in the bathroom. The other ones are in the bathroom.
Okay, wait.
Like the ACM is in the bathroom. The Music Girl Awards are in the bathroom. The CMT Awards in the bathroom. In the guest bathroom, because everybody, when they come to your house, eventually they have to go to the bathroom.
And
they have to go look at it.
That's
just
so
right there
cool.
next to the toilet. But this CMA is, it's rather large.
Yeah.
So
it's glass too.
Right, it's in my bedroom right now. I just moved to a new house, so it's in my bedroom until I can find a really safe place for it to be.
If I ever won a CMA award, I would carry it with me everywhere. And
They're
I'd be
so heavy.
Hi.
Yeah, you can make it into like a necklace.
You could.
Yeah.
I watch TV with it sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have like a wine night with it?
You just set it right there and just kind of, we're going to spend some time together.
Do you have the little card that says your name?
Yep. All of those.
Where do you keep those? Are they also in the bathroom?
Yeah, I keep them in the boxes that the awards come in and everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now the new album comes out April 3rd.
April 3rd.
How excited are you for this?
All the way excited.
Yeah, so
it's so frustrating when you make the record, then you have to wait.
For everyone to hear it,
and you have to wait forever to release it.
For the approval, in a sense.
Yeah, to make all the visual stuff and take all the photos. And
who's the first person that you normally send new stuff to?
Probably my mom. Usually, well, it depends on the subject matter of the song, really. But my friend Rachel, she lives in Memphis. I think she's got everything I've ever done since I was like 20 years old.
Wow.
Right? When I was like, made it in the Memphis Flyer, sent her a copy of that.
Oh, that's so cool.
When you sent her one night standards, was she obsessed with it? What were her thoughts?
My mom's response was, "I'm glad you're being honest," which is sort of like she didn't want to know this information. But I was like, "Womp womp," and Rachel kind of had the same reaction too. She was like, "Oh, cool song. Also, kudos for putting that out there."
Yeah. Amber was like, wow, this is great.
Right? Like you're doing it, aren't you?
Yeah. So was there anyone at the label or publicity who was like, this is a little bold. Maybe let's pull it back. Let's pull in the reins.
I was waiting for it. And as soon as we got it written, I said, I love this song. I don't know if they'll let me cut it. And Shane McAnally said, you have to cut it. You're the only person in this town with balls big enough. And I was like, that's a compliment. So I waited for somebody to be like, you can't do a song about this.
Yeah.
And they were just sort of like, no, let's do that.
Now, okay, is there a Martha Divine? Where do these names come from? Who's Sheila? Who's Martha Divine?
Sheila's a real person. Sheila is, I probably shouldn't say exactly who she is, but her name really is Sheila. And she lives on the East Coast, and she is someone's uncle's girlfriend who just could not keep her mouth shut. And finally, Nicolette Hayford, that was right on that song, was, I just wish you would shut up, and then came home and wrote that song with Parker. And I loved it. I heard it, and I was like, I don't know if anybody else is going to cut that song, but I want to cut that song.
Yeah.
And I played it for my team, and I was like, it's okay if you hate it, but I really love this song. And someone needs to put the message out that not everybody deals with loss in the same way. So it's okay to deal with it however you deal with it. And anybody who steps on that for you, your process, it's okay to put your middle finger right in front of their face too, because it's not their thing to tell you how to deal with that.
Yeah,
it's that song. I another one of those that was really, really bold, and I was so curious if that person did know, and if her name really is Sheila now,
she knows
she's
now.
Definitely gonna know.
She knows now.
She does?
I even put it in the liner notes that anyone named Sheila. I have no ill will. I bear no bad feelings to anyone named Sheila.
Do you know if she's actually heard it?
If the record is out right now today, then I am certain she has heard it.
Okay, and Martha Divine, is that?
Martha Divine, the person I wrote the song about is a real person. The name Martha Divine comes from an urban legend around the Glasgow, Kentucky area. So the guy I wrote it with and I were swapping ghost stories in the basement of this old church like you do. And I thought, kind of Arkansas kind of doesn't have any really meaty ghost stories I could write about. And when he mentioned the Martha Divine swimming hole that exists outside of Glasgow, Kentucky, I said, Martha Divine, that is a really fun thing to sing. We should just make up a whole new story. Have one about what should happen to this lady. And most cheating songs are written from the point of view of the woman being cheated on, the woman that is the side chick And neither of those, I was like, no, we should write it from this Bible beaten, half psychotic daughter who really wants to protect her mom at the command of her father. You must keep your mother happy. And she kind of takes that a little too far.
I like to imagine that this is the town where all of these people live.
Yeah.
And like you're creating your own
like The Sims.
Town. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we did once we got all the songs together. I looked at it and thought with my manager, what if we listen to this in a certain order and we hear a common thread? Could all of these songs take place in the same place? And that's how the video trilogy wound up happening. They're all 11 songs have a tie-in if we were to do them visually, but I don't know that we have the time or the budget, to do 11 videos.
Whose idea was that?
It was me and my manager Pete's, and but getting them all together and threaded together was me and Chris Harris, that's in my band, one night, very long night in the bus. It's on a piece of sketch paper, like somebody's kid was doodling. And I'm like, no, but wait, what if we hit Martha in the face with a shovel? Yeah.
Do you still have that?
I still have it.
Is it hanging in your bathroom? It should be.
That's a good call. Good call.
Now the song Stone.
Stone, yeah.
Yeah, so Amber was playing that for me. Pretty deep song.
Yeah, very.
Has your father heard it?
I don't remember if I sent it to my father or not. I sent it to my mother right after we wrote it, knowing that she needed to go ahead and hear it and cry and get it out of the way so she could listen to it again and figure it out. Because losing a sibling is a really strange loss. So when people say like, oh, how many brothers and sisters do you have? I go, oh, well, there's 6 kids. And I go, oh, wait, there's 5. I don't know what the correct response is here. And that song started out from a really angry place, especially when you're dealing with a subject as heavy as veteran suicide. And so I was very angry. Nicolette Hayford, being the co-writer on this, she said, we need to go outside and smoke and talk through this. And I laughed at something she said. And I said, wow, I sound so much like my brother when I laugh. And I didn't realize that. So then I start crying. And she said, hey, you're angry because you're sad. And you're sad because you didn't realize how much you and Clay were alike until he was already gone. That's where we need to go. And It was her suggestion to use the word stone, because think about your older siblings. They teach you how to skip rocks.
How'd your other siblings feel when they heard it?
So the one that's just older than me, the 2 that are just older than me, Daniel and Aubrey, took it really, really well. And the 2 that are now the oldest have never heard it. They've never heard it.
Are they going to?
That's up to them. Really.
Do they know it exists?
I don't think so. They don't know I exist. So they stopped paying attention to me when I was like, I don't know, 4 or something. They were like, I was like a housefly that just kept trying to let out the window. They just didn't like me. They never did. But I was like, that's cool. I'll play by myself.
I mean, I'll
play guitar.
Working out in your benefit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was really therapeutic to write that song. And I try to remind people that song is really going to hurt when you listen to it if you've ever lost anything ever.
Yeah.
But it's not on there to remind you to hurt. It's on there to remind you that you are hurt. And we are hurt. And we're just not by ourselves. We're not the only ones that feel that way.
Is this a song you plan on playing at shows? Because, I mean, it's really deep and it's really emotional.
It would be hard, first of all, to get like a festival crowd to listen to it. But I think it would just be an audible on stage. If we were in a room where it seemed like that was the right thing to do, or you knew that somebody in that room needed that song, then it would be okay to do it. Otherwise, I don't think you should do it live very often, because it might lose its pain. If you perform it 197 times in 1 year, it might not hurt anymore when you say, I sway like you when I get nervous, and remember how he swayed. That should hurt. It should hurt every time. It should start to tear you up like that every time. So we don't want to wear it out.
So we interviewed Craig Morgan, and he has the song about his son, and he said a similar thing, that he only will play it at certain shows. He mentioned the same exact thing, where he doesn't want to play it at a festival because he doesn't feel like the crowd would understand it or want to hear it.
They're there to drink beer.
And he only decides at the end of every show, should I play this?
And he has it in him.
Yeah, is that kind of how you're going to take this when you hit the road with it?
Yeah, I think you should feel similar to the way those altar calls felt when you were a kid in church. If the Spirit moves you, then do it. Don't ignore that. But also never shove something like that down anybody's throat, because what if there's somebody in the audience that wasn't ready to deal with that, and you made that happen for them?
What happened to one of your shows recently? You stopped the whole show and went into the crowd.
Yeah.
Someone was feeling one of your songs.
Yeah, Hang in There, Girl. She was crying she was dead center at the end of the thrust. And her friends were pointing at her when I was talking about Hang in There, Girl, when I was saying, no matter what was wrong with your day today, It's my job for the next 45 minutes to make sure nothing else matters. And I'm going to leave my ish backstage. You can leave your ish at the door, and we're going to be okay. And they were pointing at us. So at the end of the song, they're playing the outro. I just ran down there and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she said, "I'm okay. I'm just sad." And I said, "Well, I'll be sad with you. You're not going to be sad by yourself." And her friend said, "We've got her. She's fine. She's going to be okay." I mean, how bad can your night be? You're about to see Luke Combs.
Right.
Oh, are you kidding? How bad can your night be? Ashley McBryde just came to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short there. Come on.
I don't want anybody to hurt by themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
How is it doing shows with Luke Combs?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy.
We love him.
We get along really well. And our crowds, I want to say crossbreed, but that sounds really weird. Our crowds cross hang really well.
Cool, yeah.
Like, you're not going to see one of my fans getting in a fight with a Luke Combs fan.
Right.
They're probably just going to buy each other a beer.
Right.
Have you written anything with him or
Not yet. And when I first knew of Luke, it was as a songwriter. I almost said just a songwriter because I was just a songwriter too. I would really love that, but on the road it's impossible between his schedule and my schedule. But it would be okay with me if we maybe got to wintertime and carved out some time to write together.
Oh, that would be awesome. We would appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, we're excited for the new album and for you to hit the road and sing it more than just, are you just doing the 3 songs now?
No, we've been doing everything but Sparrow and Stone. And we're changing it every night. That way different crowds are getting different songs.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
and that's
thank
so
you.
exciting for fans too.
Right?
Yeah. Like you don't know what you're going to get and it's new and that's fun.
And sometimes it's hard because they're trying to absorb a new song. Listen to it and be into it at the same time, which is a really hard thing to ask an audience to do, especially audiences of those sizes. But we're trying to be really careful and curate who gets what songs.
Yeah, well, Amber hears a song and immediately remembers the lyrics, so she would be perfect in the crowd. Yeah, you guys have a good vibe. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much for coming by.
Of course.